We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. You know what their defense is? 2 dog sleds. We need Greenland for national security.
Greenland. Greenland.
Greenland.
Greenland. Greenland.
Greenland.
How did this ice-covered island suddenly become the focus of global attention? Why is America so relentlessly pursuing Greenland? The true reason for this is far more significant than minerals, oil, or American security. So significant that it could even change the entire world order. Dear viewers, Greenland, located very close to the North Pole, is the largest island on Earth, and a massive 80% of its area is completely covered by a thick layer of ice. In terms of its vast area, it's actually larger than Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Indonesia. However, the amount of habitable land is so limited that only 57,000 people reside across all of Greenland, and even they live solely on the coastal strip where there is very little ice. When it comes to temperature, minus 30 degrees Celsius is quite normal here, and in the northern regions, minus 50 is an everyday occurrence. Summers here last only as long as winters do in the Middle East, at most 10 degrees, and that too only in the scorching midday sun. How has Greenland, a land where the cold is so intense it could freeze blood, this vast expanse of ice, become a focal point for a new Cold War among the world superpowers today? American President Donald Trump has gone so far as to state that Greenland must by all means become a part of the United States, even if it necessitates resorting to military operations. Not just once, Trump has repeatedly expressed his desire to acquire Greenland, and this very insistence of Trump's has caused concern among geopolitical experts. Greenland is indeed a part of the North American continent, but politically it is an autonomous region that falls under the control of the Kingdom of Denmark. Donald Trump has a strong desire for this to become a part of the United States of America. However, I must also tell you that Trump is not the first person to have expressed such a wish. The United States has consistently viewed Greenland as an indispensable component of its national security. Up until the year 1867, Alaska too was a territory belonging to Russia, and subsequently the United States acquired it for a mere 2 cents per acre. This is because America has always sought to maintain its strategic dominance within the entire Arctic region. At that point, for the first time ever, an effort was made to acquire both Greenland and Iceland. However, the American Congress completely dismissed this particular plan as a mere joke. Following this, in the year 1910, US President William Howard Taft made an effort to acquire Greenland, but once again he met with failure. The real turning point then came when, during World War II, the Germans successfully occupied Denmark. At this critical juncture, America took control of Greenland's security to ensure that Nazi forces could not establish any of their military bases there. After the war concluded, specifically in the year 1946, the then American President Harry Truman made an offer to Denmark. He proposed a sum of $100 million in gold with the explicit condition that Denmark would cede Greenland in exchange. Denmark at that time firmly refused to sell its territory, but they did grant America permission to establish its military bases there. One thing is quite clear: while Donald Trump's methods may indeed be questionable, he is certainly not the first American president to have attempted to acquire Greenland. Upon closer examination, it becomes apparent that there are numerous underlying reasons contributing to Trump's notably harsh and assertive stance. Following the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and the subsequent occupation of that nation, he has further intensified his pressure and demands regarding Greenland. One primary reason for this, undoubtedly, is national security. If you consider its geographical placement, Greenland's location within the Arctic region is quite unique. It's strategically positioned right in the absolute center, precisely between Russia and America. From a military perspective, whoever manages to gain control of Greenland will automatically enhance their influence and command throughout the entire Arctic region. However, American forces are already present there. At their Big Fig space base, even today, approximately 10,000 American soldiers are stationed. So then what is the danger to them? In reality, Greenland is under Denmark's control, but the people living there have for a long time wanted their own separate country, that is, independence, and Denmark is not a powerful kingdom either. It spends half of its budget. They provide funds to Greenland in the form of financial assistance. Yet despite this, there is no army present there. Trump is concerned that if Greenland were to gain independence tomorrow, they might demand the removal of American military bases or perhaps drastically increase the lease payments. That's precisely why America desires complete control over Greenland. The second crucial point is that Greenland does not possess its own military. Only Danish defense forces are stationed there, which in Trump's view are quite inadequate. Trump sarcastically remarked, questioning how they could possibly protect Greenland with a mere 2-dog sled. While Trump's statements may hold some truth, the entire world questions his intentions, largely due to America's historical track record. They launched an invasion of Iraq, citing weapons of mass destruction as the reason, yet in reality, no such weapons were ever discovered there. America attacked Vietnam, using the pretext that Vietnamese ships had attacked the American vessel USS Maddox in the Gulf of Tonkin. But in 2005, the truth was exposed and it was revealed that no such attack had ever taken place. In 2011, the United States targeted Libya. It was alleged that Colonel Gaddafi was committing genocide there. However, many experts believe that Colonel Gaddafi actually intended to end the dollar's monopoly by establishing a gold dinar currency. All of this was orchestrated with the sole purpose of preventing the establishment of this new currency. Therefore, looking at historical patterns, it is widely understood that this time too, America is seeking to occupy Greenland using the perceived threat from Russia as a convenient pretext. Their ultimate goal is to gain control not only over its strategic security, but also to fully exploit all of its remaining valuable resources. Setting security aside, Greenland is one of the few regions in the world where very large reserves of rare earth elements are found. These minerals are so crucial that they have been called the oxygen for all upcoming technology. In Greenland, the average ice layer is 2 kilometers deep, and because this ice is millions of years old, it undoubtedly contains unexplored resources. According to geological surveys, Greenland possesses the world's 8th largest reserve of rare earth elements, including neodymium, which is crucial for manufacturing magnets used in electric vehicles and wind turbines, gallium, which is used in AI chips and radar systems, uranium, which is utilized in nuclear energy, and silicon, which is beneficial for making semiconductors and solar panels. These elements are highly advantageous for the development of our future technology. You may be astonished to discover that at present China maintains control over 90% of the global supply of these essential minerals. Furthermore, China has recently implemented export restrictions on these very minerals, aiming to exert significant pressure on Western countries. It is also true that in the future, the most powerful will be deemed to be the one who possesses control over these minerals. This is also a reason why Trump wants to acquire these minerals from Greenland and break China's monopoly. It almost goes without saying, but according to recent surveys, there's a massive reserve of 31 billion barrels of oil located solely beneath northeast Greenland. And as for how much oil is present in the rest of Greenland, you can certainly imagine that for yourselves. Beyond security, rare earth elements and oil, the protection of internet cables is also a very significant factor. As you know, the world's internet and communication system operates through cables laid beneath the sea. Greenland's unique location means that the cables passing through it connect both America and Europe. Russia's ghost vessels have often been spotted in the vicinity of these crucial cables, and America fears that in the event of a conflict, Russia could sever these vital cables, completely disrupting the entire communication network. They believe that if Greenland were under American control, these essential cables running through the Arctic Ocean between Europe and America would be much more secure. Will also remain secure. Additionally, if you look at the globe, Greenland is located at the top of our world. Here is the Ptafik Space Base, which houses the UEWR or Upgraded Early Warning Radar. This system possesses the capability to detect any intercontinental ballistic missile originating from Russia almost instantaneously after its launch. Should such a missile be launched with the United States as its target, its trajectory would not take it over the vast expanses of the Pacific or Atlantic Oceans. Instead, it would inevitably traverse the airspace above Greenland. This means that if America doesn't have a firm grip on Greenland, it poses a direct threat to the US mainland, and the most important reason no one is talking about is the new trade route. For centuries, humanity has been searching for a route that could connect Europe and Asia as quickly as possible. In older times, sea vessels had to travel all the way around Africa or South America. Then the Suez and Panama canals were constructed, transforming journeys of months into mere weeks. But the Arctic Ocean route always remained impassable due to ice, and it was considered impossible for large cargo ships to navigate. Now, because of global warming, that centuries-old formidable ice of the Arctic is gradually melting away. A new maritime route is emerging from this, which is commonly known as the Northwest Passage. For example, if a cargo ship intends to travel from China all the way to London, instead of navigating through the Suez Canal, it would actually have to cover approximately 9,000 kilometers less distance by utilizing this new Arctic passage. This means not only millions of dollars in fuel will be saved, but also 10 to 15 days of travel time. So, in reality, this isn't just about Greenland, but about controlling this new passage. The nation that controls this route will be called the gatekeeper of global trade. Russia already possesses the world's largest Arctic Ocean coastline, and it intends to levy taxes on the shipping routes that pass through it. Meanwhile, China, for its part, aims to establish a polar Silk Road in this region. Now, the United States fears that if it falls behind in this strategic race, the control over global trade will inevitably shift into the hands of Russia and China, which represents a truly terrifying nightmare for American interests. Essentially, Greenland is strategically positioned at the very entrance of this entire new shipping route. If the United States were to acquire ownership of Greenland, it would then function as a significant toll plaza for this emerging new maritime highway, and the moment for this to happen is in fact not very far off at all. According to current estimates, within the next 10 to 20 years, the polar ice will continue to melt significantly, and the global shipping industry will increasingly turn its attention towards the Northwest Passage. However, should the United States succeed in acquiring Greenland, experts widely believe that this particular issue could potentially ignite a brand new conflict within the realm of global politics. How could that happen? Denmark is a full-fledged member of NATO. The Prime Minister of Denmark has very clearly stated that should America attempt to forcibly seize Greenland, then this would unequivocally mean the complete end of NATO. The fundamental principle of NATO is that an attack on any one ally will be considered an attack on all member nations. If the United States were to occupy territory belonging to Denmark, its own ally, it could very well lead to a direct confrontation among the NATO allies themselves. Should Trump succeed in his stubborn ambition and Greenland somehow comes under American control, then the global repercussions would be extremely severe. Firstly, America would then become the world's sole Arctic supreme leader. Secondly, the centuries-old trust between Europe and America will be lost. Thirdly, America could become the uncrowned king of minerals, dealing a severe blow to China. Fourthly, mining in Greenland could transform its ecosystem with global repercussions.